Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Premier, this morning you have heard the voices of Ontarians from across the province and the negative impact of Ontario hydro costs are having on them. A few weeks ago, while knocking on doors in Kitchener-Waterloo, I met Liz and Kenneth Costello, who told me that they cannot get relief from their rising hydro bills. Not long ago, Kenneth was diagnosed with a chronic lung disease. His wife, Liz, quit her job to become his primary caregiver. Kenneth now has to be on oxygen machines 24 hours a day. It is not optional. Their hydro bills have more than doubled since Ken got sick. In January 2014, their bill was $289. In January 2017, their bill was $623. They do not qualify for any of your government's hydro relief programs.
Question.
They are on one pension. They have no other options. Premier, what is your plan to help Liz and Kenneth Costello?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'd like to thank the honourable member for bringing up that family situation, because it is one of the situations, Mr. Speaker, that we are acting on right now. And I do recognize that the honourable member talked about the OESP program, the Ontario Electricity Support Program, Mr. Speaker, and that they don't qualify for that program, Mr. Speaker. So we are looking at that program and seeing ways that we can enhance it, Mr. Speaker. One of the other things that they will get right now, Mr. Speaker, is that 8% rebate. So that's one of the things that I know that they'll get right now, Mr. Speaker, but we are working actively right now to try and find other ways to bring forward rate mitigation to help not only that family, Mr. Speaker, because there are other families right across this province, Mr. Speaker, that need help. We recognize that, Mr. Speaker, and we're going to make sure that we act on that.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure that the Minister of Energy fully understands the gravity of this situation. Their hydro bill was $289 in 2014. Today, it was $623. That is a cost that cannot be absorbed by an elderly couple who are living on one income, a pension income, a fixed income. And as I pointed out, 24 hours a day oxygen is not optional for them to use your peak times. What this family should be focused on is keeping Ken healthy and focusing on his health. And instead, their primary concern, their #1 point of stress in their lives is their hydro bill. Premier, I ask you again today, do you have a plan that can help Liz and Kenneth cope with the skyrocketing hydro costs in the province of Ontario?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In 2003, that family wouldn't have been able to use their oxygen because the power would have been out on a regular basis, Mr. Speaker. We've made sure that we've invested in a system, Mr. Speaker, that will ensure that there's power there, Mr. Speaker. And we'll make sure, Mr. Speaker, that we will continue to find ways to actually reduce rates. We are working on that, Mr. Speaker. We'll make sure that we can actually have rate mitigation in the very near future. Thank you very much, Mary.